and welcome to today's reading. We're looking into messages from our collective Black ancestors. You may be like me and identify as Black, or have Black ancestors, or Black relatives, or Black ancestry. This message is going to be especially relevant to you because you may be speaking directly to your ancestors. But I wanted to look today at the collective as well. So all of those who had that experience in life of being Black that are now ancestors to the collective, and maybe have open collective messages to anyone who finds this reading. I will be looking at the particular ancestors that may be popping through for you and a little about them. I'll be looking at trends in your life and what we may work through. I hope you bear with me. This is one of my first widely broadcast messages of this type. And with that, I will introduce you to the piles that I have prepared for you today. I am using cards that are predominantly produced by people who identify as Black currently. Pile number 1, we have the Black Tourmaline Tower. For pile number 2, we have the Black Onyx Tower. For pile number 3, we have the Smoky Quartz Tower. For pile number 4, we have the Black and Pink Tourmaline Tower. Please take a minute to calm your minds. If you get into a relaxed position and clear your head, it will be really easy to choose which pile resonates for you. When you are ready, scroll down to my description box and click the timestamp that correlates to the pile that you picked, and I will see you in your reading. Bye. If you chose pile number 1 with the Black Tourmaline Tower, then this is your group's reading. Let me move this over here and we'll take a look at the cards I pre-shuffled for you. I'm going to save that for last. This deck is by a local tarot card reader. It's called Shrine of the Black Medusa. I highly recommend. So we have the Princess of Swords, the 9 of Discs, the 2 of Wands, and the Universe. So I'm guessing that the ancestor that's coming for you, out for you, was someone who, if you knew them, they were not maybe that old or that accomplished in some way, because I feel like Princess is sort of about someone who's like trying something new, striking out into some new ideas or new territory. It could have been someone who was like a youth, or someone who just like was entered your life in some way when you were trying something new, something like that. If it's someone that you knew, that could have been something from their own life too, where they identified as the Princess of Swords, someone who is quick-witted and ready to go for it, like action-oriented, but feels like they're always into trying something new or have new ideas or new pursuits, something like that. I think that there's, in your life right now, you're experiencing a lot of newfound abundance. It could be like material wealth. It could be like something like a newfound joy in being single or living on your own, or you're really getting into your material space somehow, and it's bringing you a lot of joy. Though even through that sort of contentment and that material abundance that you're having right now, there's some sort of decision that you are thinking on. You're kind of, I feel like the 2 of Wands is like someone who's looking into the future. They're like imagining their future empire. The traditional card has someone sitting on a hill and they're just looking out into the vastness of the land that they're working and just sort of imagining and dreaming and making plans for the future. The universe is here saying that in general, things are going extremely well for you. The universe is one of those things that if it's kind of the completion of the first cycle of tarot. So things may currently be in like a really great place. And I'm wondering if maybe this individual is trying to warn you about, how we can sort of discount our current situation and its joys and pleasures or success while we're like planning and looking into the future a little too much. I want to get some more cards from this deck, which is not, it doesn't have a black back, but it is also made by a black creator. So it's definitely one more well known. So, whoa, you're welcome to check it out. It's a True Heart Tarot. So, more messages. We have the Three of Cups. We have these two that fell out. And let's get one more. Whoa, I think this one wanted to come. Okay. With the Three of Cups, I'm wondering if maybe you have recently been celebrating with your friends or family, or there's been some sort of like, or there's been some sort of event in your life that's made you spend a lot of time with your loved ones and take solace in them. It does really seem like a lot of things are coming at pile one. We have the Ten of Discs in reverse. So the Nine of Disc comes right before the Ten of Disc, and it's usually having a lot of like comfort and material success alone, and the Ten of Disc is about having that with your community. So with it being reversed, I'm wondering if there potentially could have been like an upheaval or some sort of something in your home that you're not quite comfortable with, or community, something that just feels a little bit of a discord. I mean, I think in general, the card coming up might be indicating that you have definitely some potential or probable success or comfort with your community or your home life, but there's just a little something that has put it into disarray or disheveled it a little bit. And the Devil, potentially that could be dealing with some sort of like, and a Magician reverse, I'll get to that in a second. The Devil could be like a Capricorn actually, but it also can just represent vices. Like I know my biggest vice is probably shopping too much. I make my own clothes and I love new art supplies, so I definitely have to watch that vice in me. But yours could be something different. Like your ancestor could be pointing out how this vice might be interrupting your plans. It might be seeping into you feeling connected with your community. The Magician in reverse, there's some personal power that I think this ancestor is encouraging you to look into honing for yourself. You maybe are someone who seems really strong and someone who seems really able to make things happen. Definitely that ancestor is someone who's willing to like jump in and try a new project and do something. So I think that they are connecting with you because you are that type of person too. With the Magician in reverse, I'm wondering if maybe you have the ability to change the situations you have, but you're not really actively reaching into that personal power or that personal action. Yeah, I think that your ancestor is definitely saying that you have the ability to change the situation if you want to. Whatever it might be, you have the ability to drop these bad habits or the ability to change your home life, and that will help you get to those goals that you're looking for, the place that you want to be, and perhaps how comfortable maybe material materially comfortable you might feel in the situation you're in, that shouldn't necessarily stop you from being able to hone into that magician energy and make those changes. Um, I'm group number one. I feel like this reading took an interesting turn, so my apologies if this sounds really serious. There are going to be different people watching, so this could range from a more like significant situation in your life to something that maybe is just small, like small little change. Like, I really want to cook at my house and make food for sale, but I don't have the right things, or I keep spending my money on things that make me feel more materially comfortable instead of going for that dream. Like, that's something that could change your life, but it's not something that's so serious. If that makes any sense. If my example makes any sense, I hope it does. Let's get into some more cards here. What do I want to reach for? Okay, let's look at these angel message cards. These will all be angel numbers, and they do have a black back. Okay, messages for my pupil reading group number 1. Messages from their collective black ancestors. Ooh. Okay, we got 14. You are open-minded and always up to try something new. Oh my god, what was I saying? My phone cut out, so I'm back again to finish your reading. Number 14. You are open-minded and always up to try something new. Yet you are wise enough to stop and think before you jump into things. This pragmatic approach helps ensure that time, attention, and efforts are meaningful. I think that this ancestor is definitely pointing out that they see how much personal power you have to do whatever you want to do and to jump into anything you want. And that perhaps I'm imagining you might be struggling with this idea of like, what is the most intentional or practical decision to make in this scenario? Whatever that scenario is to you. Let me go ahead and give you some advice cards. I did already shuffle some for you before my camera cut out from a deck that looks like this. It's called Dear Self. These are excellent journaling cards. They give these like little blanks in the description so you can fill in whatever comes to your mind. So first we have number 2. When I overthink situations, I'm handing my power over to fear. I feel blank and blank when I struggle to trust my gut. I can learn to trust my intuition by recalling every single time I was right. My intuition was right when I felt blank about blank. My intuition was right when I felt blank about blank. Right now I feel blank about this current situation, and I'm ready to trust those feelings. So perhaps you are getting a little bit of that analysis paralysis, or I think that so often intuition is a good key word here. I think every time that I've like pushed my intuition aside and I was like, oh, that's so silly, why do I think that, or and it always ends up bad. We have to really remember that that's one of our biggest gifts as creatures on this planet, is that we have really good intuition and we really need to trust it. Next I have feeling frustration, exhaustion, sadness, or lack are signs that I'm not clearly seeing my own path. What's meant for me feels freeing. What's meant for me feels comfortable. What's meant for me feels inspired. What's meant for me feels fun. What's meant for me flows. What's meant for me feels natural. What's meant for me feels easier. Blank feels easier than blank, and blank feels more natural to me than blank. I feel more comfortable blank than blank. So I definitely see like there's a lot of contradictions in the situation you're experiencing. So that's going to come with some frustration. And I think it's just mirroring that message of, following your heart or your interpersonal magic, like intuition. What feels good is usually like a good indicator that that's something that's meant to be a part of you. I think sometimes I can struggle a little bit with identifying what feels good. Hear me out. When you're working to complete something, I feel like that can be sort of like a struggle bus sometimes, like getting, for instance, I love drawing, but when I'm actually sitting there finishing the picture, or I'm actually sitting there, for instance, editing a video like this one, it can be so tedious that it can be hard to say in some of those moments that I love it. But, I have this idea that overall I love that thing. So kind of like really trying to look at the bigger picture, like of the things that you love might help too. I can love others while honoring my boundaries, and it's not my job to fix, heal, or counsel blank, but I can support them to the extent that's most healthy and comfortable for me while they live out their journey. I can celebrate their learning with them. This is their opportunity to take in the lessons life has to offer. I'm wondering, pile number one, with this card, if there's perhaps a person in your Ten of Cups energy that is sort of making your living situation or your community situation not feel super comfortable. Maybe this person, since I was trying to put it next to the devil, maybe this person or persons is sort of like part of that addiction energy for you somehow. I don't know, and I didn't think about it till just now that the Three of Cups is all about celebration. Like it's kind of painting this picture about sometimes when we celebrate, we indulge a little too much in certain substances. So perhaps it's not you that is doing this, but an external person. I think that sometimes we can forget when we're really someone who's great at helping others that we have our own needs that need to be maintained in order to maintain helping people. Or also, too, that sometimes people are just not ready for that help that you might be giving them. That part of loving someone can be like looking at them from a distance and not being that involved and watching them figure it out for themselves, especially if it's like a youth or someone younger than you. When it comes to blank, I don't have all of the answers, and frankly, I don't need them to find ways to feel good right now. I can choose to rest easy about blank. Everything is okay. Help is on the way. And it can show up in many ways. All right, let's take a look at your ancestor card. We have the birds. See if we can get closer to that. I am shaking that. All right, I'm going to put it back down there. So I'm going to read you the passage from the birds. So the picture in there is Untitled: Two African American Children Feeding Chickens in a Fenced-In Yard by W.E.B. Du Bois. Listen, Seven of Diamonds, Element Earth. Birds can carry messages from spirit, but you must still yourself and listen. Tune into the solution's calling to be distinguished above the cacophony of noise. May the songs be as clear as a prayer. This card reminds you spirit has not left you stranded. Will never leave you in the lurch. Tricksters and saboteurs may attempt to distract you and drown out all hope. But help is always nearby. There is always a way. Okay, my beautiful people watching group number one, thank you so much for joining with me. I wish you all the best in figuring out the situation, though I feel like you are a powerful and amazing spirit, and you probably got this. Just believe in yourself, and I think you'll figure it out just fine. If this message resonated for you at all, please consider giving this video a like and leaving a comment below letting me know how. I love hearing people's stories. It makes my day, month, week, year. And I hope you have a good one. Bye. If you picked the Black Onyx Tower in group number 2, then this is your group's reading. Just gonna move this over here. I'm gonna have a nice little collection of towers by the time I'm done. So this is the top card is from the Grandma Baby's Black Gold Lormand deck, which was created by a Black creator, and it has like these really beautiful ancestral images. I'm gonna leave that for last. This deck is by a local tarot card reader, the Shrine of the Black Medusa. Highly recommend. It's a collage deck, which you don't see that many of. So let's turn these pre-shuffled cards over. We have the Prince of Wands. Wait, the Prince of Swords and the Prince of Wands. Wow, did I like see that coming? I don't know. I haven't looked at these yet, by the way, so I'm sitting here going, ooh, because I didn't see what they were. And we have the Chariot. So I feel like there might be two different ancestors coming through for you. Someone who is going to be represented by the Prince of Swords will be someone who is like willing to charge into anything. They're very like full of energy. Maybe they're like a musician. Maybe there's someone who's just like ready for action. And I think that someone represented by the Prince of Wands, they're going to have a similar energy to that, but they're going to be very inspirational and creative and fiery. I think of the Prince of Wands as someone who's just like, definitely beautiful, and they have this sort of like beautiful, fiery spirit that people are really drawn to, like very magnetized to. I think that you are in a situation, like maybe let's switch these around. I think perhaps these are the ancestors coming through. It might not look like this, obviously, but I think that you personally are in a situation where you're having to sort of draw in a lot of your resources to sort of keep going. The Chariot is a card that represents Cancer. And then I sort of think like then some sort of like emotional state because of Cancer. But I think that it so often is just about like charging through and persevering and kind of pushing through. Someone who would be represented by the Chariot is someone who's like very resilient, like they don't quit, like, and everyone can see it. Okay, so let's draw some more cards. This is the True Heart Tarot, which is also by a Black creator, though definitely a lot more well known. So okay, messages from our collective Black ancestors. Can I have one more card? Messages from our collective Black ancestors. I think this one wants to come out. Okay. So this is the one I chose. Ooh, the Tower. Okay. The Tower in reverse. So I feel like people get nervous when they see the Tower, but I think the Tower is definitely an opportunity to rethink our foundational beliefs. And I think if it's reverse, you're either coming out of that situation where you're like, I had to really change a lot of things around and my foundation. And honestly, there's a different meaning, but I think that that's probably, I'm getting the feeling that that's what you're dealing with, and that's why you're in that Chariot energy. You're like, I just had to persevere through so many things needed to change. And even after we go through sort of those moments of reconstruction within ourselves, we can still feel that feeling, like we can kind of feel stuck in those feelings. So I think that's why it's reversed for you. The King of Swords. I don't know if maybe you had like a ancestor who was sort of like an authority figure to you that, because I feel like this one is more personal, like someone who you really looked up to, that you relied on the advice of, or if this is related to your current situation and not something that the collective ancestors are asking you to see. I think that perhaps there's someone in your life that you have been relying a lot on that is an authority to you, like someone who has like a lot of knowledge and perspective, and they can give you really good advice. And the Four of Swords. Wow, that's really pretty. That's really pretty with all the birds. Um, I'm wondering if maybe you were being called by this reading to maybe look for some space to rest. Maybe the position that you had been in, where you really had to push through and you had to change some things around, maybe that position has come to an end, or even if you're still in the midst of that situation, it doesn't mean that you can't find some time to rest and rejuvenate. Oh wow, the Chariot again. Okay. Okay, so the Chariot reverse. You're coming out of a time when you really needed to strive. And I'm getting the picture, I'm getting the gist that perhaps you're stuck in that energy of resiliency and change. And I think, as someone who really believes in like self-help and, therapy and knowledge and, the ability to change and expand and grow, I think there's something sometimes about getting stuck in that energy, like, oh, I have to learn everything, or I have to keep working at this and I have to keep working at that. And I think, you can only learn so much at a time. You can only expand so much at a time. Like sometimes we need to stop for a little bit, realize that we're not in that place anymore and that we've come so far already and we need to rest. Temperance. To me, temperance is all about sort of finding balance in situations. I think that it's upright, so I kind of get the feeling that you are going to find that balance and your ancestors see that. There's a lot of like, male energy and what's represented in your ancestors. So I think that there's something to be said for they see how hard you've been striving and that your gift is going to be that balance, that rest and relaxation, that downtime followed by getting ready to move again when you need to. Okay, let's get an angel message. And message from our collective Black ancestors. I want just one or two cards. Messages from our collective Black ancestors. Ooh, okay, that's two. So, 13. A very lucky number. You are a conscientious worker with a knack for coming up with creative ideas and turning them into something real. An optimist but practical outlook keeps you determined and on track as you work steadily towards your goals. What was I saying? You're definitely someone who embodies that chariot energy for sure. You're someone who's, not going to give up. Okay, we have 0. I am limitless. There is no beginning and there is no end. All is infinite. It is time to develop your spiritual side. You are gaining new sight and understanding of both godly and earthly things. Wow, okay. So perhaps you are someone who's spiritual, or you're developing some of your spiritual gifts right now. And that's part of what might help you in that rest energy or that temperance energy, sort of encouraging you to, you're in the middle of potentially finding new insights and within you, whether that's like, traditionally religious or spiritual or something that's affecting you in that similar way or a quality like that. So I say it like that to be inclusive of everyone. Maybe you're not like someone who believes in an organized religion, but maybe you're someone who's just getting really into meditating, or maybe you're someone who could really benefit from the structure and the organization with communing with other people, or you're developing your own gifts in those areas. So definitely your ancestors see that you have this really great ability in that area. So I don't know why I stumbled over saying that. They are connecting with you through those gifts that you have. So you're called to develop them. Okay, I'm going to pull out some messages. These are really good for journaling out of this deck, which is called Dear Self. And all the backs are different, but this is also made by a Black creator, so I do recommend it. Okay. Messages for self from our collective Black ancestors represented here. Oh my gosh. That's way too many. Messages for self from our collective Black ancestors. Here. Okay. Those feel decisive. And I'm going to take that too. Okay, so we have 3, 4. I can love others while honoring my boundaries. It's not my job to fix, heal, or counsel. Blank. But I can support them to the extent that's most healthy and comfortable for me while they live out their journey. I can celebrate their learning with them. This is their opportunity to take in the lessons life has to offer. So this did come out in another pile, group number 2. So if you were drawn to another pile, maybe that one also might resonate with you. I wonder if perhaps this person that this card is mentioning has to do with who came to mind with the King of Swords, that authority in your life that you might be going to. Or I don't know, maybe you are paired, like you are someone who's represented by the Chariot, but you're paired with someone who's the Chariot in reverse. And maybe that's sort of making you frustrated, or the thing that put you into that Chariot and Tower in reverse energy in the first place could have you really like striving in a very helper way. And I think sometimes we can get really caught up in like making it happen and going forward when you're very inclined to the Chariot and what the other person is doing and what they need. And we can forget that we are a human person with needs and boundaries and desires, and we have to state them. We have to like really focus on how putting those things out there can really help us and help us help other people too. Okay, next we have 2. When I overthink situations, I'm handing my power over to fear. I feel blank and blank when I struggle to trust my gut. I can learn to trust my intuition by recalling every single time I was right. My intuition was right when I felt blank about blank, and my intuition was right when I felt blank about blank. Right now, I feel blank about this current situation, and I'm ready to trust those feelings. Okay. Our intuition is our greatest single gift as creatures of this earth. It's our instinctual power and really important to believe in. I feel like every time I overlooked how my intuition was telling me and just went for something anyway, I always regret it. And also too, you'll get yourself into situations and just realize that a part of you knew, part of you knew better. And that part is our intuition that maybe we didn't listen to at the time. Okay, I'm gonna move on. So number 38, when I'm in a negative place, it's okay to surrender to my mood and honor my feelings because I know they're only temporary. I allow myself to feel blank, and while I'm feeling blank, I will support myself by blank and blank. I allow myself to feel blank, and while I'm feeling blank, I'm careful not to blank or blank because those actions and activities don't serve my highest good. Okay, my loves. So perhaps there have been some of those foundational things in the past are things that you don't want to slide back into. And that could lead to some of the ways that you're feeling vigilant about your change and the way that you're changing and moving forward. I think too, like the Four of Swords energy, sometimes it can be the kind of rest that we get after serious events in our lives or after we lose a loved one or something like that. So it can be indicative of a somewhat emotional time that we need to rest into. And I'm wondering if that's definitely going on for you. I hope that the card can help a little bit too with these ideas of remembering how can you support yourself, and that the way that you're feeling is not wrong or bad, and you can embrace those feelings in different ways. So I let's turn over our last card. This is the Grandma's Baby Black Gold Lomard Lenormand deck. It's actually really beautiful. It's filled with ancestral pictures, and they're collaged and enhanced in different ways. So let's turn over what yours is. It says child, so let's look it up. Okay, what is this? One, Jack of Hearts, X, 111. Okay, from the Children of Mr. Frank Cunningham, with the clay they find near their home, near Franklin, Heard County, by Jack Delano. Hope, Jack of Spades, element air. It is safe for you to be soft again. You have traveled long and far from who you were as a child. Pain has taught you to be mistrustful. Experience has made you afraid, but your hope was dormant, not dead. It is safe to hope again. It is safe to expect good things. And more importantly, you deserve to. At this time, you might also benefit from having an elder or a mentor, someone with more experience to guide you and encourage you as you learn a new skill or embark on a new path. Huh. Okay, so it does sound like that idea of there being an authority in your life that will help guide you was true. And I wonder if it's someone that you have connected with or someone you're thinking about connecting with. I'm not sure. But definitely it sounds like our ancestors are encouraging you to have hope, encouraging you to enjoy your life and rest in your life and not spend it striving and fighting and being stuck in that trade energy forever. That energy is always good for when we need to get through something, but you have to also recognize when you're through it and enjoy the time after it's over. So that's all I'm seeing for you, my group number 2s. You seem like such a beautiful soul, and I know you got this. If this reading resonated for you at all, please consider giving me a like or leaving a comment below telling me about how it resonated for you. I hope you have a great, beautiful day. Bye. If you picked pile number 3 and the smoky quartz crystal, then this is your group's pile. I'm going to be honest with you, group number 3, it's been kind of a struggle to film your pile. I tried last night and there was a thunderstorm and it stopped working mysteriously. I tried a couple more times and it just wasn't saving to my storage correctly. So if you're actually getting to view this, then it must be must have finally started working. And I'm wondering if, like, you know, maybe you've been feeling that way in your life, like something isn't quite working out the way it should, or feeling like, you know, life has been handing you some curveballs. I did replace the cards, or I'm gonna get new cards for you, because I'm also just wondering if maybe the message wasn't quite right. But anyway, I'm gonna pull this off to the side. I'm gonna have a lot of these by the time I'm done. These cards are Grandma Baby's Black and Gold Lomard. They have like really cool black ancestral cards on them from the US or the America. This is the Shrine of the Black Medusa Tarot by a local tarot card reader who identifies as Black, so also very cool. We have the Princess of Wands. The Trickster Spirit, maybe that energy of that curveball energy. Oh, and the Queen of Wands. So I have sort of been seeing the suit cards like this, like the Princess and the Queen, as representing those ancestors that might be reaching out to you. So sort of like a mother-daughter duo that's very inspirational and very powerful, if that resonates with you. But I also feel like that these could also be qualities that you have. Like maybe you are a very strong, fiery type of person, and you're someone who's really inspiring to people. Maybe you don't even realize that you could be and not even know it. But someone that people really see as like motivational, inspirational, and like a good leader. The Trickster Spirit also represents the Fool in this deck, so that's someone whose heart and mind is so free and lifted that they're willing to start something new. So you could be, you know, maybe it's representing that curveball energy I was talking about, but it could also be representing, I just wanted to check the camera real quick. It could also be representing your interest or ability to jump in and start something new. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull some more tarot cards. There's definitely a lot of red in this reading. I know these cards are red backed, but these are also by a Black creator, so I figured I would use these. Maybe you want to check out the red tarot alignment reading, because there is a lot of red in here. I see some purple too in the Trickster Spirit. All right, so messages from our collective Black ancestors for our group number 3 folks. Okay, that's a lot. You know what? It's actually not too bad. Let's take it. Okay, so... Oh, and at the bottom of the deck is the Princess of Discs. I'm not going to leave that out. I just wanted to show you. Check out another princess. Okay. There's a lot of cards. So we have the Sun. You know, I feel like the sun is that moment where you just see the light at the end of the tunnel. You see something beautiful and amazing is about to come. Strength. I mean, I was talking about how you're probably someone with a lot of magneticism and inspiration. You're very motivational. And I think, you know, what else could that be but some sort of strength? We have Star. Wow. Okay. Card for Aquarius. Well, we have Leo, Aquarius, and then we have lots of like fire energy and the wands up there. The Lovers. Wow, okay. And 7 of Cups. The Queen of Wands again. Okay. And the Queen of Cups. You definitely are a really powerful person. If we have 3 queens in your reading, I also imagine that you are someone who's able to tap into that very feminine energy. You know, even if you're a male, the energy of like creation and nurturing, and the energy of being able to sort of like make things happen from nowhere. I think if you have the Queen of Wands, that just reinforces that fiery energy. I don't know if you have someone in your life that's sort of like a mom figure that is you find very motivational, that you look up to, or if that's you, if you're a mom yourself and you're a fire sign, that would be good confirmation of that one being true. The Queen of Cups is someone who she's so able to reflect back at people what they need to see. She's very like emotionally intelligent and in tune with the emotional world, and just able to sort of like know what needs to happen when it needs to happen. She's a sort of leader that can lead, like will be like emotionally inspirational, that will be able to like connect with people's feelings on a deeper level, and that's how she motivates and leads. So we have strength, which I already talked about, the sun. The star is also one of those cards that is so much about hope and looking forward to things. Um, I think that there might be a lot of options that you're looking at with the Seven of Cups that really, it's a wish card that represents there being a lot of different directions that you can go into. Though it also represents a little bit of like illusion, or not quite, things not quite being what they seem. Like sometimes when it looks like there's so many options, when you really get into it, at the end of the day, there might just be one or two really good options. Um, but, feeling like the options are limitless is always a good feeling. Um, I am a Libra, and even the stereotype is that we have a hard time with decisions, but I love that feeling of being like, oh, there's so many different directions that things could go in. The Lovers, quite obviously, might represent a romantic relationship in your life that's really uh, feeling really strongly present for you. Like, how do I say, a romantic relationship that's sort of like developing as you're aligning who you are with someone else. The Lover's card is actually about alignment more than it is specifically about love. However, we do that whenever we get into a loving relationship with someone else. Like, we do a lot of aligning our beliefs with another person. It could represent just you being in alignment with your own beliefs too, like getting on the same page and acting with how you believe and feel is something you might be being called to do right now as you move forward. There's definitely like a lot of like, I feel like in this reading, your ancestors are saying that you have a lot of personal power, and there's a lot of beautiful things that are happening for you in your life. Um, you definitely seem like someone who's a leader and can really make those changes happen. That you do have like limitless possibilities if you really want them. Um, if this is about another person, there may just be some like amazing things happening with them. You might be a really strong person. I don't know if, sometimes when you're a really strong personality, um, it can be hard to align yourself with someone else if they don't also have that strong personality. It could be possible that these queens are representing you over here. Like, I don't know if it's like it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a, same sex situation. Um, but maybe it could be, since there's two queens, and that would be very cute. But it could be that you are the one, well, one or both of you, like maybe one of you is very fiery and the other one's very emotional, and you guys are sort of finding that balance together. But things are really looking positively in this situation. That could be a possible read from these card combinations. It's kind of hard to get all the different possibilities in there, but I really try to give you a couple different angles since you're not sitting in front of me. But let's move on. This is just so beautiful. Like, I kind of want to just leave it there. I really like it. But let's find out more by going into Angel Messages cards. I always pick up the face card. Let me put that back. What's really interesting is that these angel messages are typically cards that have like triple numbers, but in this reading, most of the cards have been single numbers that have come out. Okay, there's one that wants to come out. I guess two. Let's get one more to fall for us. Okay, two more. I hope you don't mind the reading, but we have 7. Here we go. I am brilliant. You possess a very refined mind and a deep urge to uncover life's mysteries. Your ability to acquire vast knowledge on both the informational and spiritual plane gives you a greater awareness than most. Now, what was I saying? You're a very powerful person. This card is saying that you are also brilliant. You are an original, innovative thinker, an excellent communicator. You have a great talent for using creativity to convey your ideas. and your optimistic attitude has an uplifting effort on others. Yeah, you're a leader. Maybe, you could just be a leader through your good attitude, or just like your creative pursuits. The census is saying you're imaginative. 555. Okay, well, here's our first triple number. A major shift is about to come into your life. Experience and change your path's direction. Be positive and be open and stay positive. I'm optimistic. Yeah, what was I saying? The star and the sun are both really showing that maybe things have been tough and you've had to pull out a lot of the strength energy in yourself, but it's really looking like things are going to be changing soon. 999. Thank the past for your lessons and leave it where it belongs so you can make the best of the life that is still waiting to be fulfilled by you. I am unique. You know what? I feel like this really needs to be said too so often. Like, I think that when we are looking to jump into new things or we're looking at new possibilities, it's so hard now to think of like, we want to do something that's original or like hasn't really been done before. Like, for instance, I'm on YouTube without that many followers. And it's really easy to think, there's just so many people doing the same thing. Why would that be the thing I would pursue? But we just have to remember that no matter what, you are, no one else is like you. You are extremely unique. And this reading is also telling me that you are a very powerful and inspirational person. So I think that we have to just remember that uniqueness is going to shine through no matter what. Like, you're going to do something that no one else has been able to do, and that's going to be what sets you apart, and it's going to make what you try be, just effing amazing. Okay, so let's move on. These cards are called Dear Self. They're also by a Black creator. I really love them. I use them so much. They do have all different backs. It's very Instagram, but it's still cool. On the front of the cards, like there are fill in the blanks. So as I read it, I want you to imagine what you would put in those blanks. These do make good journal prompts too. If you are that type of person, feel free to journal the prompts I'm giving you if you want. Okay, so let's shuffle. So messages from Pile 3's Collective Black Ancestors. Oh my gosh. I dropped them on the floor. Okay, those are 3, and I'm going to take this one too. That was on the back. Okay, let's see what we have. My life goal isn't to envy or follow others. I came into this world to live my own uniquely human experience. My work is to... You can't make this up. Wow. Okay. You are unique. My work is to spend my life defining and redefining my journey as I go. I can recall a time when I thought I wanted blank, but blank proved to be a more joyful choice for me. It took me being open and flexible to find my way. Okay, well, that's just really reinforcing some of the things I was getting. So with the 7 of Cups, a lot of choices. With the Trickster / the Fool, something new you're looking into. And yeah, maybe you're looking to pursue some new creative endeavors on your own, in your own unique way. Okay, 41. What if I observed my thoughts as much as I experience them? I can imagine that my mind is the vehicle and I am both in the driver's seat and the passenger seat. Observing my thoughts about blank. They feel blank. I'm curious about them. I want to know blank. I understand that the answer to that question is within me, and the clarity I seek will come. Okay, sorry the phone cut out a little bit there, but I am back. Let's move on to the rest of your cards. We have number 33. I am not too old. I am not too old to blank, and it's never too late for me to blank. My journey will look entirely different than the next person's because my path is determined by what I desire, how I learn, and how I feel about blank, all things unique to me. I think we spoke a little bit about that where whatever you do is going to be unique to you, and that is important. Yeah, just remember to have courage to try new things. I think we have this idea that once you reach a certain age, you don't really grow or change or develop much because we don't physically see those changes as much as we do with like little kids or young adults. But just remember you have a great capacity to do different things in your life and change so much. And, things don't just stop once you reach a certain age and then you're too old. We see like really cool stories every day about people above 50, or above 60, and above 70 doing really trying something new for the first time and learning it. Okay, number 14. I'm going to let my intuition guide me to more fun. I'm going to clear my head of limiting and lack-based noise and think of an activity that sounds really satisfying to do. The first thing that comes to mind is blank. I'm going to trust my inner guidance and take the time to blank as soon as possible. Well, I wonder what came to mind for you. Definitely, this is definitely very explicitly saying you should totally go for whatever you're thinking about. I will say too that we really forget that we should be able to have fun with things. I work with kids, and I think in my spare time, and I think that we have this idea that only kids play or only kids have fun, and that once you're a certain age, like, you don't get to do fun things anymore, just play and be silly. But I want to encourage you to remember that so often when we are really inspired by someone, especially with creative pursuits, you can tell that that person loves it, that they're having fun with it, that they're really enjoying it. And that's definitely something I think your ancestors are calling you to remember, is that life is also should involve a lot of fun. Those things that you feel like you're having a lot of fun doing are going to be the things that really inspire other people. It's so interesting to me what ends up inspiring people, like from my own perspective. It's not necessarily when I'm inspired to speak on something or like talk about something in particular that I think is important. It's just always when I'm doing something really goofy that's just for me and it's just public enough that people find it inspirational. Yeah. Whatever that might be for you. Okay, so let's move on to the Grandma's Baby Black and Gold Lenormand deck, and let's see what's in here for you. Well, we have the Mirror, which first of all, I feel like is definitely our collective Black ancestors in this group's reading, saying that you really have the personal power to make that happen. So I definitely think it's saying go look in the mirror, you got this. All right, we can't have two of these types of cards, so what do we have here? Okay, we have Waters. So I'm going to read for you from the book what it says, and I did already know that this one's coming up, so I have it pulled up. It's a Beginnings, Queen of Hearts, Element Water. This is an auspicious time to make a fresh start in some area in your life. Establishing a new daily ritual or creative or entrepreneurial pursuit bodes well for you now. You are awash in divine flow, casting off stagnancy and debris, granted the opportunity to begin again. Don't let this beautiful energy pass you by. Wash and replenish your altar in your head. Neglecting spiritual hygiene delays and can even block the blessings and opportunities attempting to enter your life. I don't want you to think about that as so much like, oh, I might fuck this up, but as just like an encouragement to kind of like do the things for yourself that make you feel like more aligned, whether that's, whatever that means to you spiritually or otherwise. Like if you have an altar to connect with your ancestors, cleaning that off and refreshing it. I know a lot of people participate in that practice. if you, like just like taking a nice bubble bath. If you just want to like clean your house and get it into order, or prepare, go outside and do some gardening or walking around, like those things also could totally count. As far as like washing the top of your head, I know there's lots of organized religions and spiritual beliefs that speak to the top of your head being like a conduit or a fulcrum that like connects with whatever higher power they might believe in, or there's a few variations of that sort of idea that I've heard of. And if that's something that's important to you, maybe taking some time to like reset your hair and wash it or get a new hairstyle might be good for you. If you don't really have a lot of hair, maybe a new hat or something to like adorn your head, like a cool hood. I don't know. Whatever really resonates with you that will sort of fulfill that type of self-care and maintenance practice. Well, that's all I'm seeing for you guys, group number 3. I'm so glad that I got to the end of this reading, and hopefully you will get to see it too. If it resonated for you at all, please consider giving the video a like, and also telling me below in the comments what you thought, because I just love hearing people's stories about how it connected to them. I know a lot of people watching this are people I personally know, and they tell me directly, but a comment with that information is always good. I hope you have a great day and night wherever you are. Bye. Hi, if you chose group number 4 in the pink and black tourmaline, then this is your group's pile. I'm just going to move my tourmaline point over here with the other ones. I kind of moved them around since the last pile. Okay, so these cards on top are cards that depict, they have like really beautiful depictions of historical Black American culture and life. We're going to save those to the end. This is the Shrine of the Black Medusa deck by a local Black tarot card reader. I highly recommend them. Let's go ahead and get into these. We have the 8 of Wands. So a period of rapid and clear communication is coming your way. The Ace of Wands. Okay, lots of wands and aces. The Ace of Cups. So there's definitely new opportunities that are coming your way. That might be part of this communication that you're getting. So it sounds like the ancestors want you to know that, things are kind of about to be swiftly moving you into a new direction. So there might be opportunities that are creative, because the wands represent that. There might be opportunities that are sort of like dealing with emotional intelligence. Like, I don't know if you're like to do like workshops around like how to treat people or conflict resolution, or if you're someone who works in like a healing or thoughts and minds, like psychology sort of field, it could have something to do with that. I'm trying to think of what other sorts of things might be dealing with like your emotional intelligence and your personal fulfillment. It could just be that like it might be an opportunity that's going to just feel really good to you, that sort of thing. And usually with the cups, this means that you're going to have to take some action pretty soon. I feel like we have a lot of cards, so let me move these up a little. I think that you have more cards than any other deck. We have the Princess of Disc. So perhaps an ancestor is reaching out to you. That's a very grounded, intuitive, and spiritual sort of ancestor, an earth sign of some sort. Maybe a daughter of someone that you know. The 6 of Cups. So to me, the 6 of Cups. Okay, the 6 of Cups. I just wanted to let you know that the video camera cut out. So I think I put all the cards back that were here in the right spots. Since I caught it. The 6 of Cups represents nostalgia. To me, it's sort of like thinking about where you grew up or who you grew up with, or your mom or your grandmother or something like that. Imagining, going back and visiting where you grew up, that sort of thing. Our final card from this deck is the Queen of Discs. So someone that's very nurturing and caring, someone who's very sort of like an authority. This happened in another group too, where we had sort of the princess and the queen, so like a mother and daughter energy. And I feel like the main difference is that the princess is more able to be seen as someone who's newer or a learner. But, this could be like your, a mother and daughter of duo from your ancestry line, like a grandmother and a great grandmother, that sort of thing, that are reaching out to you. Someone who's a great provider, very intuitive, wealthy in their own way, whether that's with the connections in their family or not. Okay, so let's move on to getting some cards from this deck, which is also by a Black creator. Okay, messages from our collective Black ancestors for group number 4. Anyone else want to come out? Okay. We have the Princess of Wands. Definitely lots of powerful energy coming out for you guys. The Five of Cups. And the Ten of Disc reverse. So I definitely feel like you are someone who has a lot of personal power. Like maybe you're a fire sign. It could be represented by that, but someone who's just really interested in letting their creative power and potential out there. Someone who's very opinionated in a good way, and like very much so wants to make their mark on the world and like let their voice be heard. Or maybe that's just something that's easy for you. Maybe you're the type of person who doesn't have a hard time speaking their mind when it comes down to it. So that's what I'm getting from the Princess of Wands. There might be something that you're kind of like beginning to learn, some endeavor that you're maybe starting to approach, like maybe you're learning a new trade or hobby, like that sort of thing. The Five of Cups is definitely a time when we are sort of feeling a lot of emotional turmoil over something that happened in the past. It's kind of like that crying over spilled milk, feeling like you're still sort of emotionally reeling from something that happened. Not as trivial as spilled milk, of course, something very emotional that happened. It's over now, but you're still emotionally in it. The Ten of Disc, though, is really saying that there's something you're not happy with in your home life. I wonder if this is related to why you're feeling nostalgic or thinking of happier memories, is because maybe something isn't quite right in the moment. I don't know, if maybe potentially you're pushing your way through a situation that just isn't the best, and that's why looking into the future, these sort of like rapid communication and changes that are coming for you will be really will be something that's really welcomed and needed. So let's go ahead and get some of these angel message cards for you, and this has a black back. Okay, come on. All right. I've noticed that I haven't gotten a lot of triple digits, which is what I think of when I think of angel number messages. Oh man, I dropped it. Okay. Let's just take the one on the back, which is 17. So number 27, your mind is wide open and you are tolerant and compassionate towards all ways of life. You value freedom of expression and want to improve the conditions of people, whether in your community, country, or the world at large. I am expressive. Yeah, that's definitely in line with the Princess of Wands. Very fiery, inspirational energy. I am a creator. Wow, okay. 000. You are one with the creator, and there are no limits to what you can achieve. You have the ability to create something new and incredible in your lifetime here on Earth. Okay, my group number 4s, you heard it here. Definitely something that you're called to do is create in this world and leave your mark. Number 17, the quality of work you can produce when you're going at it alone is almost unbelievable. You are as independent as you are ambitious, capable of performing every step of the way with efficiency, focus, and skill. I am independent. Sometimes when we're naturally independent, it's usually out of necessity, like feeling like you've had a lot of people in your past that maybe haven't supported you can sort of create like a hyper independent person. And I'm saying that because I sort of relate heavily to that process. However, sometimes really we can take a minute and appreciate and value that being independent in that way has made us someone who's able to really achieve great things and sort of like feel the confidence and the self assuredness to really make things happen in this world. So I think that our ancestors are pointing that out to you here, that you are that type of person that can really make things happen. Definitely a very powerful person on the other side of this video. I'm glad you're here. Okay, let's get some more messages. This deck is called Dear Self, and it is has all these different backs that I wanted to show you. It is also by a Black creator. I think it's one of my favorite decks. I use it all the time. When I read the message to you, make sure that you fill in the blanks that it has for you, because it's kind of like an interactive deck, so you can decide the message a little bit along with what they wrote because of the blanks. Okay. Messages from my collective Black ancestors. Okay, that was fast. And there we go. Easy peasy. Okay, first we have, I love my blank. I love how I feel about blank. I love my ability to blank, and I love it when blank. So definitely giving yourself an opportunity to be hyped up about how awesome you are. I feel my most creative and inspired when I'm blank or blank. I know that I can recreate these conditions anytime I want to tap into my naturally creative flow. Number 20, if I knew I couldn't fail, I wouldn't hesitate to blank, but because blank. But I've never failed. My desires may have changed as I've learned more through my experiences, and ideas may have evolved with time. Still, everything I learned, I took with me and continue to apply it along the way. I know I won't fail. Okay, so these new things definitely are saying that you are not going to fail when you try them, when you jump into them. I think that it's definitely a great exercise to sit sometimes and think about, what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? Like, what sort of risks or what sort of things would I do if I knew I would be successful? So perhaps you should think about that and get a little journaling in. Let's move into the grandma babies, Black and Gold. We have the Tower. I'm going to look these up for you. And you do have quite a few, so apologies for how slowly it might go. The Tower from New Madrid County, Missouri is The Hanging Tree is the picture by Russell Lee. Revolution, 6 of Spades. Oh my gosh. Element air. Tower represents structures seeking to disempower and ultimately destroy you. It is a situation where your best chance of survival is avoiding it at all costs. But if escape isn't possible, you have to fight. For our ancestors' survival depended on their ability to resist physical and spiritual destruction at every turn. So it made sense that they fought to be liberated with every physical and spiritual tool available to them. You are meant to use every tool available to you, not just because it is critical for our liberation, but because it is also your ancestral legacy. You owe it to your ancestors, yourself, and those who will come after you. You stand at the confluence of 7 generations back and 7 generations forward. Your ancestor work has started. Okay, so definitely reinforcing that you are definitely a very powerful being and creator right now in your lifetime, and that perhaps these new opportunities that are coming your way are going to lead to how you will be making your mark on the world, and people, you're going to be a person people look back on and say, oh my gosh, how amazing, or look at what they did for us, for our community. And that's so beautiful. My power number 4s. I'm excited for what you do. Actually, I think I picked 2. Doing things with your left hand is totally cool. Testimony. From singing, trying to make 199.5 won't do, by Jack Delano. Confirmation. 7 of Spades, element air. Important messages or a long-awaited confirmation is on its way to you, so be ready to receive. Have you been waiting for a sign, a letter, or the results of consistent spiritual practice? It's coming. Your prayers have been heard, and action has been taken to move circumstances in your favor. Alternatively, this may be the perfect moment to deliver your own message. To share your work and experiences with others. What have you learned that you're eager to tell? This is the time to share your light. Oh my gosh, what did I say? There's some opportunities coming to you that are going to really, really make a big impact on yourself and others. Oh my gosh, mice. Okay, that's a little gross, but let's see what it says. It looks like there's some mice that have passed away on the floor there. You know, it's just life. I have a cat that they bring me mice all the time as a beautiful present. So what am I saying? They just give me the willies a little bit. Okay, and in the picture, so mice, the picture is Dead Rats in Alley by Edwin Roscom. Fear. 7 of Clubs, element fire. This card indicates that you may be feeling or acting out of alignment in pursuit of short-term satisfaction, external approval, or to avoid the necessary work. The irony of that is that it will take more work to repair the resulting harm, but that is worth doing if you wish to make things right. Act quickly to resolve conflicts and prevent further losses. Communicate honestly and clear up misunderstandings and pain. Lastly, forgive yourself, and let this be a lesson. Running from yourself harms everyone involved. Choosing to face yourself and face others as yourself is worth doing. Just want to reinforce that you are someone who has a really unique voice and presence, someone who has like a really magnetic and inspiring sort of vibe. That's definitely all Princess of Wands things. So when you are uniquely you, that's something that is going to be like unstoppable, amazing, like 10 out of 10, beautiful, something that people will really be drawn to and respect and admire. So sometimes, you know, if we feel different or if we feel like we might not be doing the right thing, or I don't know, sometimes we kind of run away from who we are when we're unique or have, you know, special different things that you feel or might be different abilities. So definitely remember that it's important for you to be yourself and act in alignment with who you are and show that to the world in the upcoming opportunities. So we have bouquet. Bouquet. Do you ever just say all the silent letters because it's funny? Okay, bouquet. From Untitled by Hibiscus Blossom Beach, Palm Beach, Florida by Detroit Publishing Company. Trust. Queen of Spades, element air. What you're looking for, you can't find outside of yourself. Are you listening to your gut? Are you tuning into your intuition? Remember how to see medicine where you were only taught to see an ornamental blossom or a homely weed. Trust that there is more to what you're seeing or experiencing than meets the eye. This card asks you to rely on your spiritual senses as much as your physical ones. That's a really, definitely, that's the first time I'm reading that, so it's also hitting me. It's definitely a really good thing to think about as you go through whatever upcoming process and communication that's happening in your life. That, you know, things can be more powerful and more magical than they seem on the surface. Like a conversation, a walk around the park, like a new job, all those things can hold so much more power than might be evident on the surface. So keep that in mind as you move through these upcoming events for you. If this reading resonated for you at all, please let me know in the comments. I love hearing people's stories. Give this video a like if you liked it, and it will also help other people see this video in the future the more likes it gets. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are. You seem like an amazing, powerful person, so I'm so glad that you are part of our community and part of our culture. Bye.